Happy Saturday. People often ask me why why I'm so critical of nonprofits and philanthropy when I run a business that actually helps nonprofits to do fundraising, organizational development, crisis management, and executive coaching. And the short answer is I don't hate all nonprofits. I think there are nonprofits out there that are doing really good work. I think there are nonprofit leaders out there who lead from a place of values. At the same time, I also recognize that there are ways that philanthropy shows up that is toxic. There are ways that leaders of nonprofits show up that are toxic, that don't match with their values. I'm glad we're coming out of this cancel culture because it exists, and it exists heavily in the nonprofit space, particularly in the criminal justice reform space, a place that is supposed to be all about second chances, which makes it so intellectually dishonest to be erasing people and to be marginalizing people and to even be criminalizing people. It's a space that is as heavily litigated as any Wall Street firm, to be honest, and it's like the deep, dark, ugly secret of nonprofits that that sort of behavior happens. And it's not about who's at fault. It's about, if you're trying to show the world how to do criminal justice differently, how can you do that when you're using the same tools of a system of oppression to handle your own challenges? And so there's that. And then there's philanthropy. The fact that program officers often behave as if those resources belong to them. The fact that they put particularly small nonprofits led by leaders of color through tremendous hurdles to be able to access resources, sometimes behaving as if those resources belong to them, not returning phone calls, not returning emails, having folks wait for months to be able to submit a proposal, putting them through overly rigorous processes. And then when things don't go well, not really leaning into who we say we are, restoration, due process, and instead, forcing very unsophisticated, often leaders who are just driven by a passion and driven by a mission through rigorous legal processes to try to figure out what they could have done differently, when often the behavior that they engaged in was done in goodwill, if not done well, still done with their values in place and done for the right reasons. And there seems to be no air in the space, no room in the space for a conversation about those things, especially from a space that is supposed to be about restoration and restorative justice and due process. So what I'd like to see, honestly, is that foundations continue to move toward recognizing that often their corpus, their financial standing comes from some wealthy person many, many years ago who not only benefited from the tax benefit of creating a foundation, but also benefited from some sort of exploitation of labor to begin with, if not all-out slavery many, many years ago. And so to me, that means that much of this money is reparations money, and that this money should be returned to people who are doing good work to try to make the world a little bit better. And instead, what we end up with is a system where the people who are in power, the people who work at foundations, are extremely heavy-handed often. Not everyone, but many of them. And I see how my clients have to navigate it. And, my job is honestly to help them play the game. And it doesn't get lost on me. I'm not naive that I'm actually helping them to operate within a system that I don't totally agree with, while seeing what we can do to move that system towards something that feels much more equitable. Anyway, that's my rant. Thanks for attending my fucking Saturday morning TED Talk. I think I'm going to keep talking because I've been relatively quiet for the last 5 years. And I know there are a lot of people out there that would prefer it that way. That's the other thing. If you're good at what you do in nonprofit, and you're a black leader in particular, and you're articulate, you tend to get marginalized out this space relatively quickly. So it doesn't get lost on me that there's a lot of people out there that rather I keep my fucking mouth shut. But buckle up, because that's not going to happen. Peace.